Hi, Shawna Karrasch here, and today we're going to talk about sheath cleaning. I mean, this is a topic that makes even the most seasoned horse person bristle. But what we're going to do, I'm going to talk about two different parts of sheath cleaning. The biggest part, and I think the toughest part, is the behavioral end and getting your horse to stand still for sheath cleaning. The process itself is not as complicated as the getting your horse to stand still and getting you comfortable and being able to trust your horse when you clean a sheath. So we're going to talk about how to use the positive reinforcement training to get your horse to be a solid citizen about this. It's going to save you lots of time, and it's going to save you a lot of money, frankly. And it's just a simple product or a simple process, and it's going to help your horse's health. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the behavior side of it. So first of all, you want to have a cue or a signal that tells them, yes, what you've just done is correct. A lot of times I use a clicker for this, you can use a whistle for this, or you can use a verbal signal for this. A lot of times I start with a clicker and we'll move into a verbal signal, but this is going to be the yes signal that tells them, yes, what you've just done is correct. So you have just earned some sort of reinforcement. So I'm trusting that that is something you know. If not, you can go to my website and learn more about the clicker training and the positive reinforcement training so you have a good foundation there. Okay, and then so after we have a horse who understands the sound of the clicker means yes, what you've just done is correct. They know to stand still and quietly and mind your space as you have food to reinforce them. We're going to move from there. And again, we're using positive reinforcement because positive reinforcement puts something in it for your horse that your horse values. So what's really important about this is we're going to kind of move into tender territory for them, or sensitive territory, I guess might be better, for a lot of horses. So we want to be sure that we're putting something in it for them, a reason for them to stand still, to stand quietly, and to let us clean their sheath. Okay, so first of all, what you want to do, we're going to do a basic desensitization, a systematic desensitization, working through the process of getting them nice and comfortable with different things that may at first be really sensitive. So you want to start where they're most successful and they're most comfortable. So since we're dealing with the hind end, most horses are pretty comfortable if you're touching them on the hip, on the croup, on the outside of the leg. So make sure that you can handle them all the way down their leg. You can handle their foot. They'll let you pick up the foot. Then you can move on the inside of the leg, and then you can move to the belly and then to the sheath area. Now, as you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to look for relaxation. So as you're standing there, if you feel your horse tense up, and you know you can just feel it, so your hands are on them. If you feel them tense up, the second you feel him start to soften and relax those muscles, or if you see it and his head goes up, or his eye gets tight, or his mouth looks tight, look for the relaxation. Relaxation is what we want. We want them to stand still and not do anything but be quiet. So what you want to do, you always want to click or use your verbal bridge signal on relaxation. So you always want to click on the thing you want to see more of. So as we are working through this, we always want to look for softening, relaxation, or not doing anything. So start with the outside leg, make sure you can handle the outside of the leg, move to the inside of the leg, make sure you can handle the inside of the leg, move to their belly, and then move to their sheath area. Now, if you see any flinching, any uneasiness, do not move to the next place until they're really solid at that level. Never move forward until, let's say it's right when you get to the belly. They start to get kind of, you can see that they're tense, or you can feel it, or they start to lift up their leg. Keep working in that area until they're nice and relaxed, and they're not only not lifting their leg, but they actually feel soft and relaxed. So that's really important. So focus on that. And then as you start to move forward to touching the other areas, one of the things is we start to you're going to go into the sheath area. So touch them on the outside, but then we're going to move to going inside of their sheath. So as you start to do this, one of the things I recommend doing when you're first starting out is standing with your hip kind of next to their shoulder, and then facing towards their hind end and kind of bending and reaching over. As you begin to touch that area and your hands are there, if they start to raise their leg, what you're going to feel is their stifle hitting your arm, and they're going to kick out, but you're going to be a place that is safe. As you continue to move through this area, you're going to recognize when they're comfortable and really at ease with you handling this area. So that's your basic desensitization that you want to work on, so you get them nice and solid about handling their sheath. But next, like I said, we're going to go inside their sheath. Okay, so I don't know all the technical terms for this. I just really know how to do it. So what you want to do, and this is a part, it's just hard for people to talk about. A lot of people just don't want to do it, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I think their feet are actually kind of nastier. So what you want to do is as you start to reach in there, now you're going to start going into the sheath area. As they look for them that may become more sensitive. Each time you go further in, they're going to feel they may be more sensitive. So just look for that relaxation. And as you get them standing quietly as you reach in further and further and further. Okay, that's the basic process. Now, we're going to talk about, that's the desensitization behavior training portion. Now we're going to actually talk about the sheath cleaning portion and why you'd want to do it. You want to clean your horse's sheath at a minimum once a year, but really just about every vet you talk to will say at least twice a year, and that's at the least. You don't want to do it more than once a month in normal circumstances, because you can actually get it too clean. There's certain bacteria in there that keeps it healthy, and it's like yogurt. Just kidding. But there's certain bacteria in there that keep it healthy and do the right things and keep it well balanced. So once a month for some horses is really good, but probably not too much more than once a month. But what builds up in there, it's schmegma is what it's called. It's basically like oil glands that are in there. They produce a type of oil. They combine with the flaking dead skin, and they make this kind of waxy buildup, and it can cause health problems, and you can kind of smell a lot of times horses that have not had their sheaths cleaned. So you need to keep that clean. So they'll get it on the outside of their penis shaft. That's one area. So, and you can feel it all inside inside the sheath cavity there. And then the really important thing you also want to get the bean out of their urethral process, which is, it's a pocket that's right around the head. It's in the head of the penis, and it's right around the urethra. And it can actually get like the size of a marble, and it can be very restrictive. It can just cause damage. You really need to get that part out as well. So as you clean the whole inside there, you're going to want to get all the buildup off of their penis, off the inside of the sheath, and I go right on up and in. If you have a horse who relaxes and drops, and as they get used to it, they may do this more and more, it makes it a lot easier because it's right there. But I just head right on up there and clean it out. So you want to start with a nice product that you don't want to just use any like betadine or any cleaning agents like that. You want to use a really mild detergent like Schmegulator. Something that is nice and organic and that is going to be gentle, because it is a sensitive area and really more sensitive for other horses than not. So as you go up and you start to clean the different parts, you'll feel, a lot of times what I do too, and I forgot to mention this, I actually will put a hose in my hand, and as I reach up in there, I have the hose in my hand, or you can put the hose directly up in there. And if it's possible, using a warm water, not hot water, but a warm water will be more comfortable for your horse. So as you put the water up there, it kind of softens everything, and it'll even start to kind of clean some of it out on its own. But you'll just feel, you'll feel the buildup, and you'll feel kind of chunks of skin and schmegma in there, and so you work that out. And having a nice dollop of the schmegulator, or just having a nice dollop of that in there, it'll make it nice and sudsy, and it'll help it just to kind of wash right off. And sometimes as you keep going, you may need to use more. So as you clean that area out, you clean on the outside, you feel that. If they are all tucked up in there, you'll kind of feel like a little passage area, and you kind of like a little hole, and then there's kind of another, I call it the inner sanctum. Not really a technical name, but up in there is where kind of the penis resides. And you can reach right in there, and you can feel around there and clean around there, and you can clean the bean right around from the outside of urethral process in that pocket around the head of their penis, so that you can reach right in and do it, even if they do not drop and let you get to it on their own. So you can do that very easily, but you want to be careful not to overdo it. I mean, you're not out there to scrub them raw or anything, you just want to clean it off, and it's very important also to rinse well. And so again, I take the hose right up in there. As I put the hose up in first, and then I go in with the soap and clean it all out, and then I will then take the hose back up in until I see the water running clean. Now another couple tips that I'll give you. One is some people use gloves. Now, if you use a latex gloves, most gloves, and you're reaching up in there, only come to about here. You're going to go further than that as you reach up in there. So it does you really no good at all. So you may talk to your vet and get ones that are higher, and that might be a help. But you kind of also need a little bit of sensitivity. You don't just want like household gloves, because you want to be able to feel if it's clean or not, because it's going to be kind of a tactile sensation. And also getting the bean out, you really need to be able to reach, you need to be able to feel that you got the bean out if there is indeed a bean up in there. And then another thing that I've heard people do for the soapy portion, they take a sock. I've heard like a tube sock or something, and put it on their hand, and it kind of makes like a little sponge. So you wet that, you put the schmegulator right on there, and then you can reach up, and it gives you a little bit of, kind of cleans it off a little bit. So you may try that as well. Anyway, so those are my tips for cleaning sheath. It's really not that hard. It's easy to do. One of my horses is one of those ones that needs it done all the time. And also, another tip I should point out, also pay attention if you see anything irritated, if you feel any bumps. A lot of the gray horses are prone to melanomas, especially if they're after age 11 or so. They will have them a lot of times on some area of their body, and it's not unusual to have them on their penis. So they're up in there somewhere. So if you feel nodules somewhere, if you see anything unusual, do not hesitate to call your vet and find out what that's about. Also, another thing that I think you should keep in mind, it is possible to sedate your horse to do this, because when they get sedated, they have a tendency to drop. Again, that's going to take some, your vet being part of it. So he can give the injection, then you can do the work portion of it, but really that's not necessary. It's just not that hard to get up in there and do it yourself. But maybe as a consideration as you're training it, you may choose to do it for the first time or two, so you get familiar with it and know what you're doing. But it's not a big deal. I've been doing it forever. Anyway, so I hope this helps you out. I hope this answers some questions and gives you a clear picture of what to do with your horse. What we're going to do is in the next month or so, we're going to actually make a video and show as much as we can in the process of it, and that might make it even clearer. If you're one of those people that wants to learn more or wants a better idea about it, then we will talk to it about, you'll get a chance to see it on a DVD about sheath cleaning. Anyway, so that's it for now. I'm Shawna Karrasch, and I hope this helped you out. And until next time, enjoy getting your horse on target. Hi, Shawna Karrasch here. Just a little addendum to the sheath cleaning information. I just wanted to tell you, there's a product I mentioned in there. It wasn't officially available yet. It's called Schmegulator. It's a great product, and I just wanted to let you know what I was talking about. It does great. It's good for their sensitive skin. Anyway, so this is what I love. I just used it the other day, and it worked really, really good. So, and it's organic, and it doesn't hurt the environment. It's green. Anyway, and it wasn't tested on animals. So anyway, so I love this. So I hope that all this information has helped you put it all together. And like I said, watch for an upcoming video where we'll actually, a DVD will be available if you want to really learn more detail. Anyway, till next time, I'm Shawna Karrasch. Right now, I'm at the airport, LAX, heading to Ireland, going to do clinic for a few weeks in the UK. That's why it's so noisy and weird here. Anyway, take care. Bye.